Hello everyone, welcome to an analysis of dance, where we discuss the movements and debuts of the Billboard Hot Dance charts in immaculate detail, with in-depth reviews of each debut each week. As I said last week, I was expecting this week to be really damn busy. I mean, I wasn't expecting Illenium's album to really last at all, and given the mixed reception by fans and the poor streaming, I was expecting a lot of it to really collapse. And man, I was definitely right. Damn near the entire album collapsed. Only 4 debuts managed to actually stick this week, and what they were replaced with was honestly very weird, but also not surprising at all. This week was kind of predictable, not gonna lie. I mean, if this isn't a sign that the Illenium self-titled album is gonna be a train record for Illenium in the future, given how badly this all did, yeah, I don't know what is, just saying. But okay, of course it doesn't affect our top 10 much, as I'm Good Blue by JVKE and BB Rexha still holds steady at number 1. But really, given that we could see a potential number 1 debut for the newest Bad Bunny song, which does feature a lot of dance elements, and given Billboard's leniency, I can see that happening, this song might be finally at risk of actually being knocked off soon, and good riddance for that. It's been long overstaying its welcome. I mean, that would definitely make this top 5 more interesting, especially with Bizarrap Music Sessions Volume 53 by Bizarrap and Shakira at number 2, and Trustful by Pink at number 3, just not really going anywhere. Even with the latter gaining big on radio, it just does not have the streaming to really help it at this rate. But unfortunately, what looks set to be in prime position to overtake these is Baby Don't Hurt Me by David Guetta and Marie and Coil Ray up to number 4, which has radio and streaming really getting on board with it. Yay, we're getting this to stick around. Even if it is better than I'm Good Blue, and I'd certainly take it over taking that song, it's still not good at all. Fuck me. Thankfully though, once you skip past Hold Me Closer by Elton John and Britney Spears in number 5, which is just slowly falling across the board, we actually had El Merengue by Marshmello and Manuel Turizo up to number 6, where the airplay is really getting on board with this finally, and given the streaming actually saw a pretty big boost this week, definitely helped by the new single with Brent Faiyaz that didn't chart here. Yeah, I'm not really complaining that this is going up. It could possibly get higher, and that's only a good thing for me. As expected, this pushed down 1035 by Tiesto featuring Tate McRae to number 7, but really, with that song absolutely collapsing on radio and streaming starting to rotate out in favor of the other singles, I'm not remotely surprised. They had a frankly way better run than I expected. But now onto the big story this week, and one I sort of called last week. Good Loyal Thoughts by Odetari manages to debut at the top 10 at number 8, with entirely streaming and no radio support to begin with. Yeah, shock horror to nobody. It's honestly kind of interesting seeing Odetari manage to get 2 songs in the top 10 at the same time, even if I don't expect these to last long term, and really given the receptions of both of these, I'm not really surprised by that. It is definitely a change of pace for the top 10, I'll definitely take it. Now, once you skip past Miracle by Calvin Harris and Ellie Goulding at number 9, which is holding steady across the board, there's the other Odetari song with Narcissistic Personality Disorder at number 10. Really, again, it's only relying on streaming, so if anything with actual radio comes along, this is going to get knocked out. Whatever. But shock horror, when you turn to our falls and fall-offs, the majority of these are by Illenium. I mean, he lost so many album tracks, including Lifeline, which debuted in the top 20. Again, really telling that these songs collapsed so hard. It's almost like the fan favorites were the ones that actually stuck around or something. Hell, when you get to our falls, the majority of them are the fan favorites, including the 2 in the top 25 that are still sticking around relatively high, with Eyes Wide Shut with Avril Lavigne and Travis Barker at 16, and Nothing Ever After with Motionless and Why at 25. Hopefully these are actually the ones that stick around. Outside of that, Love Me a Little with Nina Nesbitt collapsed to 50. Honestly, I'm surprised it stuck around at all. With All My Heart with Jake hit 46. Back to You with All Time Low Ali collapsed down to 41. And Other Side with Set the Sky and Vera Blue hit 40. Again, I'm really surprised that that one actually stuck around, even if it's considered a fan favorite from the album. It did debut lower than a lot of songs that actually fell off above it. Outside of that, we saw 2 non-Illenium songs actually continue to collapse. I mean, you could make sense out of Be My Lover 2023 mix by Hyperton, David Guetta and LaBouche at 49. This song I honestly called being a one-week wonder. I'm honestly surprised it stuck around this long. And Up and Down by the Chainsmokers and 347 at 32, which if Illenium didn't collapse more above it, this would have fallen even harder. Again, the Chainsmokers can't catch a break, especially with this song being terrible. But the main story of this week are the jumps. I mean, we had comebacks, and dear God, both of these are awful. I mean, the less bad of these is Ritma Dina Danchante by DJ Goodog at 45, and I honestly don't expect that one to last. But why is Crying on the Dance Floor by Endless Summer and Violet Days at 30? Can we seriously kill this trend off? It's not remotely good at all. If I want my fix on modern song sampling classics, I already have Praising You. This can fuck right off. But okay, these jumps, man, there's a lot. I mean, you had your minor rebounds for songs that were already holding steady anyways, like Money on the Dash by Ellie Duhay and Weth Jackson at 43, Maybe All the Problem by Ava Max at 34, Giga Chat Theme by Geoxem at 26, Ratata by Skrillex, Missy Elliott and Mr. Wazo at 25, and Rhyme Dust by MK and Dom Dollar at 22. Nice to see that rebound. Outside of that, we had two songs that really kind of surprised me with their rebounds. I mean, Relax My Eyes by Another and AAoD rebounded big up to 35, and it was one of the few songs that actually managed to jump last week, really telling they might actually stick around. And Ghosts Again by Depeche Mode all the way back up to 19, which suddenly got a huge sales boost. I mean, I'm not complaining, but that's really far into its run. Honestly surprising to me. But okay, we only got 6 debuts this week, and some of these are really strange. Case in point.
Number 44, Chalk 1.3.3 2017 Export WAV by Flume and Jimmy Stack.
Who's a little bit thrown off by the fact that we actually got a song charting from that unreleased tracks compilation Flume just put out, Arrived Anxious Left Bored? I mean, I get that he was popular from 2016 onwards in the States, but the album is really just a collection of B-sides. It didn't even chart on the Hot Dance album charts, and yet here's a song with Jimmy Stack that actually managed to debut this week. Really shocked by that. That being said, man, I'm really glad that this was the song that crossed over. It's a really unique track and definitely a welcome change of pace for both Flume and the charts moving forward. I mean, it is quite repetitive, building around a pounding house beat with some really weird synths that just sound uncanny as all hell and get progressively more dark as they go on, but I really like how the track builds on that percussion line and really keeps it entertaining throughout. Part of this is Jimmy Stack's production touches that keep the whole song really well confined. It doesn't make it go off the rails like the majority of Flume songs do, and keeps the groove remarkably tight. This is a really danceable song. Part of it is that breakdown in the middle, which toes the line between atmospheric and genuinely unnerving, and really flows well from the rest of the song, surprisingly, even despite the groove being as hard-hitting as it is. I mean, yes, you can tell it's obviously a B-side that was not single-worthy at all and wouldn't have fit onto any of Flume's projects in 2017 or even before that, but still, this is a really great curiosity. I'm really glad it crossed over. Genuinely really good song. Check it out. Number 37, Sometimes by Snakehips, Daya and EARTHGANG. On the topic of weird things that I didn't expect to chart, I'm honestly shocked that this was able to cross over at all. I mean, I will admit I was not expecting any sort of impact from Snakehips' Never Worry album that just came out recently. The album's streaming numbers are honestly really terrible, which is kind of a shame because the album is absolutely excellent and one of my frontrunners for the best album of 2023 so far. But hey, we got the opening track with Daya and EARTHGANG charting here, and even if I don't expect it to last next week, it's still here regardless. And yeah, this is another really great song. In fact, I actually might like this a lot more than Chalk. For starters, this is some of the smoothest production that Snakehips have ever made. I don't know who told them to go towards more of a funk sound, but it honestly works wonders for them. This has a really great groove behind it. It reminds me a lot of Cosmo's Midnight with the funky synths and a genuinely terrific percussion line against the fantastic bass line. It's genuinely a pivot that works amazing for them, and I'm honestly surprised it's taken this long for them to go towards this sound given the revival of disco in the mainstream. Credit must be given though to Daya, who really delivers a fantastic hook with her cooing and really proves that she's evolved a lot since her breakthrough in 2016. She works wonders on this sort of dance production. The real star though is Johnny Venus of EARTHGANG, who absolutely goes off on his verse with a really tight flow and some genuinely entertaining vocal inflections that really play off well, especially as the guy playing off Daya and the hookup lyrics, and honestly shows that they have a lot more chemistry than many people would expect. This was really well constructed. So yeah, again, like Chalk, I don't expect this to last come next week. It's only really here because of the album boost, but hey, I'm not complaining at all it's here. This is a fantastic song, absolutely worth checking out, as well as the album. Give it some more chance. Check it out. Number 31, Fall For You by Galantis and Jake featuring Enisa.
Better, better, better. You play on my heartstrings, no hard feelings. Tell me I should know better, better, better. Now I'm a
Oh dear dear God, I don't care. I mean, this collaboration just screams desperation, given that Dandelion, the last collaboration between Galantis and Jake, was by far Galantis' biggest song for the past few years, and given that Galantis has really fallen off for a while now, I was not expecting this to be remotely good. I mean, I say that, I've at least grown on Hungry Art a fair bit. It's actually a really damn good song now, I definitely like it, so does this live up to the same level? No, it doesn't. Again, this just leaves me with nothing to say. This is not remotely good at all. It's the same generic tropical house leading verses that have so much reverb that you can barely hear the melodies. The hooks are just not remotely memorable. The drops lean so heavily on the generic tech house mold with barely any melody. Jake absolutely phones in his vocals with some genuinely flat sounding notes. And even if Albanian singer Enisa has a decent voice and some decent personality, she's such a non-presence across the song as it could barely last 2.5 minutes. It's boring, generic, and not remotely worth talking about. Again, like the majority of Galantis' songs, it just feels so safe and sanitized. And again, I don't expect this to stick around. It's not memorable at all. So yeah, skip it. Not good. Number 29, Oceans by Gryffin and Kid Joi.
When it's too deep, you can breathe in my air. Deeper than oceans, can you feel my love is everywhere, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I was really on board with Dreams. Damn good production, used the sample quite well, showed the atmospheric house side of Gryffin really does work wonders multiple times, and I wasn't really sure how he'd be able to follow up on that. I mean, getting on board Kid Joi, a Nigerian-American SoundCloud singer who's really on the rise out of Detroit, was definitely an interesting choice, and man, it's a shame that this song just isn't. I'm sorry, but while this is decent enough, compared to Dreams, I'm just a lot less impressed by it. I mean, it's not bad by any means. The piano sounds nice on the verses with some really nice breezy atmosphere, and I'll give that Kid Joi sounds really damn good on the microphone. She's got this soulful presence that definitely fits well with this atmosphere, but man, this song has this weirdly sickly sweet vibe that just turns me away so hard. I mean, the repetitive love is everywhere vocals on the drops definitely don't help in that regard, but then you have those melodies which are so major key to the point where they get so sappy and it just does not really work at all in the song's replayability. I mean, I don't object to happy sounding songs, but Dreams really worked for me because it actually managed to balance out with some minor melodies every now and then, and didn't feel as weirdly cheesy as this one does. I mean, it's fine, but it's definitely a weaker single. Most times, I'd probably pass on it. Sorry. Number 18, Hero by Alan Walker and Sasha Alex Sloan.
I need someone before the sun goes down. Who's gonna save me now? Some kind of hero.
I mean, I'm surprised this collab didn't happen sooner. I mean, Sasha Alex Sloan has really been on the rise in the dance music scene as of late, and given Alan Walker's career of trend chasing, especially nowadays with the 90s trance revival, I wasn't surprised he ended up working with her on a song that leans more towards progressive house. I mean, this is Alan Walker's highest charting song since Sweet Dreams in 2021. Surely it's got to be worth it, right? Well, honestly, I was really surprised by this. Yeah, I'm genuinely impressed. This was a really damn good song. Yes, the progressive house sound with elements of trance is definitely different for Alan Walker, but his atmospheric touches really do work well here. It's got a really nice breezy vibe where those crushing synths just sound absolutely fantastic, especially on the drops where they go into some really atmospheric territory and sound really clean, especially against a smoother percussion line. I mean, it sounds gorgeous. I was honestly surprised that Alan Walker was capable of making a song this big sounding that really does work with Sasha Alex Sloan's very pretty delivery. She absolutely delivers in the vocals here as well, unsurprisingly, and really does elevate the song with her lighter tone. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about it. I can definitely see why people wouldn't like it on the back of the really obvious sellout mode, but when Alan Walker makes it sound this good, yeah, I'm really impressed by this. I was genuinely surprised. This is a great song. And finally, number 8, Good Loyal Thoughts by Odetari.
You're not the only one, world don't revolve around you, girl. You're not the only one, world don't revolve around you, girl. You're not the only one.
Okay, Okay, so as I said last week, I was honestly surprised that this didn't debut earlier. I mean, it's got higher streaming numbers than Odetari's other song in the top 10, so the fact that it debuted higher this week wasn't really all that surprising, all things considered. I mean, I've been hearing negative buzz about this one, even from fans of Odetari, and honestly, I get it, but I also don't hate this as much as most people. I mean, with all that said, the verses are trash. The vocals just sound awful as they get into a higher pitch that really doesn't work well against the lower key vocals on the hook. And to top it off, the lyrics are absolute garbage as Odetari berates a girl for wanting to spend more time with him, before he goes into explicit detail about all the girls he's had sex with. Notable bad lines include, "That's her best friend, she bisexual, I like seeing girls on girls, gross. I can't fuck with no bitch who says she got baby daddies," followed by proclamations that he'll stalk her at home, charming. "I lost all feelings for that bitch as soon as I done bone." I mean, seriously, that's just complete nonsense. And the most telling line, "Bought that bitch some clothes, I dress her how I like, however that I want." Yeah, gross. That's just manipulative bullshit that just really makes me sour on this song incredibly hard. And further proves that this person is fucking disgusting and a manipulative dickhead. Fuck right off with this. That being said, I do like this production with those crushing simps against the heavier Jersey club beat and actual structure to it, unlike narcissistic personality disorder, where you can very clearly tell where the hook starts and ends, which is definitely a sign of growth. Yeah, look, I can't call this remotely good. The verses are absolutely disgusting and just sound awful, and the novelty of this will definitely wear off over time, but it's not as bad as many people would say it is. Most of the time it's just really mediocre instead of outright awful for me, but still, this ain't good. Skip it. And you know what? It's not getting the worst of the week, although it is a very easy Dishonourable runner-up. It's still not a remotely good song, let's be real here. The worst though is obviously going to Fall For You by Galantis and Jake featuring Enisa, and man, I really hope that Galantis takes a step back because this is just not remotely good and shows a career that's really going down the drain as we speak. What a terrible song. Best of the week, I mean, of course, is going to Sometimes by Snakehips, Daya and EARTHGANG, but Honourable runner-up was actually a lot harder than I expected, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm actually going to give it to Hero by Alan Walker and Sasha Sloan, which just barely beat out Chalk 1.3.3 by Flume. And honestly, both were a lot closer quality-wise than I gave credit. They could honestly switch around at any time, just saying. Next week, I don't really expect a whole lot to really materialize here. There's no big releases on the radar that could really destroy anything here, so it might be a quieter week. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's all for this episode of An Analysis of Dance. See you next time.